I still don't believe her, but I'm willing to hear her out and I want to hear her explanation. But I still think it's bullshit.
I can't say anymore. I'm probably already in trouble for mentioning it to well, we call you normies.
Yes. Malika Andrews, we need you to come back to the front of the courtroom, please. We have a few questions for you yet again about your reporting of black men in sports, all right? Now, Malika Andrews has been accused of, I would say, over-reporting the mishaps of black men in sports and athletes, rather, while underreporting some of the mishaps of other white players in sports.
What do you mean, you people?
What do you mean, you people?
Huh?
Now, recently she sat down with, I believe, DeMar DeRozan. He has a podcast on YouTube. And she went on to explain herself of sorts and to actually push back on the narrative that she hates black men. Of course, as you saw my intro, I don't necessarily believe her. And I don't know what it is about her why she does this, but there have been plenty of instances that have been well documented where she goes out of her way to report certain things that happen to black players, okay? But when the same thing or a similar situation happens to a white player, okay, she either underreports it or doesn't speak about it at all. And I'm the last guy to talk about race, okay? But this is one of our own, if you will. And she does this quite frequently, all right? Even people like Des Bryant has come to defense of black men against Malika Andrews, all right? So you see here the title from the New York Post. Malika Andrews gets candid on criticism she's received for her coverage of black players.
Yeah, bitch.
I'm sorry, black NBA players, all right? Let me be more specific because Malika Andrews is an NBA reporter and everybody that she's spoken about has been an NBA player. And there's been plenty of instances where there's been black NBA players that have gotten into trouble, which the trouble they got into, just to be fair, was not right. They deserve to be criticized. But again, what we're saying is that you are an NBA reporter / analyst. And when something has happened of similar situation, or they didn't have to be similar, when a white NBA player did something that was heinous or of wrong, right? You underreported it, didn't give any details, or didn't talk about it at all. And that is a problem that many people, especially black men, have with Malika Andrews. So let's get down to business and read the article, shall we? Malika Andrews is taking back her narrative. Throughout her meteoric rise in the sports media space, the ESPN analyst has more than once become the story. Pundits have long painted Andrews as biased, accusing her of focusing too much on the indiscretions of black athletes one day and overlooking their white counterparts' offenses the next. Yes, I agree with that.
Yeah, bitch.
That the charges are, I'm sorry, wait a minute. Did I miss a line? No, I didn't. That the charges are unfounded is besides the point, Andrews told DeMar DeRozan during a recent appearance on Dinners with DeMar, his uncut YouTube talk show, which honestly I didn't know he had, centered on mental health. The negativity, she noted, takes its toll. Well, in my opinion, sure, you're right. You deserve it. Quote, the hardest thing for me sometimes is stomaching the falsehoods, particularly this idea that I, quote unquote, hate black men, Andrew said. That couldn't be further from the truth. She later added, using my family or the way that my family looks as some sort of evidence to that effect is just untrue and it's just unkind. Now, again, you are free to love whoever you want. However, yes, people have taken her choice of partner, if you will, into consideration when they give her criticism on her not portraying the white players in the same light that she portrays black players. Again, I don't think that's the case. I don't think it has anything to do with it. It's something just with her specifically, but we'll talk about it, all right? When Andrews married Dave McMinion, a white ESPN reporter in August, her detractors resurrected their chiding and purported racism. Now, you might be wondering, who is David McMinion? For those who don't know, this is David McMinion right here. Okay, let me blow it up. No pun intended. This is Mr. David McMinion. Okay, he is also a reporter with ESPN. I've seen him report several times. I think he's a fair guy when it comes to reporting. But this is her partner. I think they got married last year, maybe, or early this year. It was widely reported for a quick minute. But this is who he is, all right? Just so you know. The rebukes then were reminiscent of those thrown Andrews' way in September of 2023 when she sparred with fellow ESPN host Stephen A. Smith. The disagreement came in the wake of Ime Udoka's suspension from the Celtics. It had been revealed that he had an intimate relationship with a woman in the organization. Now, I remember when that happened. Her and Stephen A. Smith did go back and forth about that, and it was rather a heated debate because, again, Malika Andrews wanted to put a little extra on the situation. Yes, he cheated on his girlfriend because they weren't married to, I believe it was, I forgot her name. But Ime Udoka was not married to his partner at that time. All right. I think that they have a child together. But he cheated on her with somebody that was in the organization. It became big news. It was also found that he had cheated with maybe one or two other people or women in the organization. It was a bad look on the Celtics. He got released, and he's with another team now. The rest is history. He's still doing good, in my opinion. But she put a little extra on that, in my opinion. All right. A year later, Andrews was thrust back to the spotlight when former Cowboys wide receiver Dez Bryant chastised her on social media for choosing to discuss an incident involving former Alabama star Brandon Miller while not calling enough attention to Josh Giddey, who was accused of being involved with somebody that is as of not proper age. Now, remember that because Brandon Miller got into an incident and it was founded, I believe, that he was set up at that time, but he got into a altercation that I believe was involving a firearm. And then around the same time, Josh Giddey got accused of having relations or an inappropriate relationship with a woman of opposite sex that was not of proper age. And I don't believe she said anything about that, or very little. And that was another time where, again, it was like, okay, you're an NBA reporter. You report on the NBA and I believe also college, right? Why did you not say anything about this, but you said something about this? Okay. Again, I'm not saying she's racist because black people say, well, she's not racist because she's black. But why would you not call it on both sides the same way? That's all we asking, right? You didn't do it. You didn't do it. Andrews, who grew up in a predominantly white Oakland suburb with a black father and a Jewish mother.
I'm not going to say what race, what people. We know I can't say that.
Told DeRozan that as a reporter, doing her job to the best of her abilities requires leaning into that personal history, not shying away from it. Cool. We understand that. You have to get personal about situations. You have to reveal things that might be uncomfortable for the public, for the viewer. However, do it with everyone. That's all we're saying, okay? Do it with everyone.
Yeah, bitch. Yeah, bitch.
I try very hard to make it so the things that I've experienced, I try to keep them in mind when I'm talking about players, she said. I try to have empathy. I have a job to do, but I'm not here to play gotcha. Well, if you're not here to play gotcha again, why are you not calling it the same on both sides, all right? Why not? Matter of fact, remember during the NBA draft when she threw one player under the bus? I forgot who it was exactly. I think it was the Alabama player, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, she threw that guy under the bus, and then when it was a bad timing. They were talking, back and forth about what draft spot he's gonna be in. And then she's like, "Well, remember this happened, blah blah." Where everybody in social media was like, "Why did you have to say that right now?" Matter of fact, not that the draft people didn't already. The people that know this, the scouts and agents, they didn't already know this, but why did you have to make that plain in front of everybody when there's other people in the draft that already had problems? But you decided to make that somehow like the focus of your commentary. It was like, are you serious? Quote, That doesn't mean that I've covered every story perfectly. It doesn't mean that I don't make mistakes. Well, yeah, you think?
Yeah, bitch. Yeah, bitch.
But I think I'm pretty good at saying to you guys, I could have been better there. Well, I hope you're saying that. I hope we can keep that kindness and humanity that I worry sometimes we're losing. Well, we're not losing with everybody. We're really just losing it with you.
Enemy spotted.
Okay? We're only losing it with you, Malika Andrews. And if you do not start reporting these troubling incidents about players, if you don't start covering them accurately on both sides of the color line, okay, on both sides of the color spectrum, on black and white, if you don't start covering them both, you're going to continue to catch backlash, and they're going to continue to put your marriage in your face and everything else until you start calling things down the middle, all right? If you're going to call it for the black players, call it for the white players too. And again, I'm not the one, I come out here, I'm down the middle with everything, but Malika Andrews in particular, okay? And here's the other thing. If this was a white commentator, the backlash would be even worse. Because then they would call it racism, right? Because you're only highlighting the black players, not the white players. But I think Malika Andrews gets a pass because she's black. No. Call it down the middle, Malika. If you're going to highlight the indiscretions of black basketball players, college and professional, if you're going to highlight the indiscretions of black basketball players, make sure that you call for the white ones too. All right. There's trouble going around in both areas in black and white players. Everybody makes mistakes. Okay. So make sure you highlight all of them. All right. That's all I'm saying. I don't know what you think about what you all think about down in the comment section, but y'all let me know. All right. And with that being said, thank you for attending another episode of Normieville. You know me, I'm Justin Norman, here to bring you the latest and greatest in sports news, entertainment, and politics. Let me know what you think about Malika Andrews and her weak explanation of why she doesn't cover sports evenly down in the comment section. Please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and the notification bell. We're out of the door, and I will see you on the next video.